Shalom, friends. It is Rabbi Jenny Solomon coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And I wanted to share this mincha moment, this moment that I am taking to settle and center sort of midway through my day. Many things accomplished with still many more on my list. So I'm thinking a lot during these 10 days, these very special days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, about all the little ways that we can make a big difference. So there's a great story about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva lived thousands of years ago, and he became not only an incredible rabbi who is sort of conveyed as a leader within the Talmud and the various academies where he taught and led our people. But he is famous because he didn't start learning Torah, learning our sacred tradition, until he was 40, which would feel like a late age now and probably felt even later back then. And one of the sort of turning points that we learn about from a midrash, from an ancient story, in terms of his deciding that he was ready to take on a life of Torah learning, is that he was sitting beside a brook, and he noticed as he was being contemplative and watching the waterfall that there was this steady little drip, drop. And beneath this little steady trickle, there was actually a hole in a rock, in the stone. And he realized that this steady drip over a long period of time could create a hole in something very hard. And I think there are so many, and if he could begin learning Torah even at a late age, the story goes on to teach that over time, he could still make a tremendous impact. And I'm thinking about this midrash, this story, and this legacy, really, of Rabbi Akiva right now, even in the context of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, may she rest in peace, because she is also quoted as being deeply humble and really suggesting that we just do what we can, and that those steady contributions over the course of time can, in fact, make a tremendous impact. And so as I consider all the ways in which I want to improve the world and grow my own soul, and the tremendous systemic problems that we have in our society facing us as a country and as a planet, it's so easy to become overwhelmed. I mean, even just looking at sort of my goals for the new year, I could feel completely paralyzed and overwhelmed. But something I've really been inspired by in listening to others recently is a commitment to just keep practicing in all of our own unique, steady ways. And remembering that drip, drop, looking at it just for a moment, we can't perceive the impact. But over the course of a life, it can carve out a canyon. So I want to invite us to sit and perhaps hold that intention of steady commitment. And we may even do that with the image of the water, the flowing water, this substance, this element which is on the one hand soft and life-giving, and yet it is powerful enough over time and with enough force to actually, create something big and wide and expansive and new, where there wasn't anything before. So I invite you to close your eyes or to soften your gaze and to just find a good seat. So you may find yourself taking a couple of deep breaths as a way to center and steady the mind. And another way that we steady the mind is actually by settling the body. As we drop into our physical embodied experience, the mind often has a way of following. So feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice any sensation where your feet make contact with the floor, with the earth. Notice the way in which the back body meets your chair or cushion. Notice the sense of feeling supported and held in this moment. With our heads held high and a nice tall spine, notice if there are any places of tightness or holding in the body. You might scan the jaw, shoulders, chest, belly, hips. And see if you can soften, bringing some breath gently, steadily to those places. And part of how we embody and practice that steady commitment, like the water that trickles in a brook and eventually drives a hole through a stone, is by watching our own point of attention. So you may take a couple of moments to watch the breath. Just one breath at a time. Maybe 10 breaths altogether. Or you may choose a very particular focus with the help of a word or a line from our tefillot, from our prayers, like Moda Ani, thank you, or Hineni, here I am. And see if you can bring your steady attention to that point of focus, even for a short period of time. Strong back, soft front, steady attention, drop by drop, breath by breath. It's not upon us to complete the work, but neither are we free to desist from it. So what's one small step you can take today? And tomorrow, and the day after that. With the faithfulness that all of those small steps will add up to something big and powerful and transformative. With one more cleansing breath, grateful for this moment of quiet and stillness, of intention setting and peace.